Hello to my cosmic dragon friends. We're back with a collective reading. This is an energy update. I'm filming we're about 10 days prior to Lionsgate, and I can feel the energy hotting up at the moment. This reading is intended as timeless, so it is good for whenever you're finding it. But for those of us feeling the Lionsgate energy already, I will say I think this is going to be a big one. The 7/7 portal we had in 7th of July was a big one this year in 2024. And I just want to see what's going on with the energy, and my guides have brought me back here to do another reading for you today. So I asked them what the theme was going to be for today's reading, and I was guided to get out my spirit message oracle that my guides helped me write, and this came shooting out as I was trying to shuffle the cards, and it says, "Spirit is on the line, answer the call," with a little old-fashioned telephone there. So yeah, that's the theme that we have going on at the moment. It does seem like there's a lot of communication coming through from the 5D, from the higher realms, from our spirit guides or angels, from God, Goddess, whatever it is that you believe in or pray to. There's a lot of information coming through. There are many messages coming through at the moment, and some people are ignoring them, while others are listening, doing their work, and having enormous spiritual awakenings at the moment. So I've often spoken about something that I refer to as the Great Separation. And if you follow me on my original channel, Angel Wings Holistics, you'll know this. You'll remember I talk about the Great Separation of mankind, where it's kind of splitting into two major different soul groups, I suppose, for want of a better word. Want of a better world, oh my. It is for want of a better world that we're doing it as well, because there are the group that want to ascend, want to grow, want to move into the 5D energies, who are ready to move into the 5th dimension, and then there are those who are holding on to the lower vibrational energies, who are not ready to evolve, who don't wish to, who want to stay in the ego, experience for much longer, and that'll be because their soul has decided it wants to do that at this time. So it's not that there's a right and wrong, or a righteous group and a lazy group, or a good and bad, black or white. It's not like that. We live in a realm of duality. There are always going to be people who choose to do different things, and that's okay and normal, and that's exactly why our souls come here to incarnate. So what they're doing is absolutely fine. It may not be what we're choosing to do. Okay, and for some reason I picked this deck up now, so I'm just going to shuffle it while I continue talking, because my guides are talking through me, which is why I'm tripping over my words at the moment. Just because we choose to do something doesn't mean it's better than what the next person chooses to do, even if objectively it may appear to be so in our human opinion. Okay, we come here to have spiritual experiences at the end of the day, but the Great Separation that I'm talking about is those who are moving more towards spirituality, to their spiritual self, their higher self, to God, Goddess, and those who are moving more away from it into the dark use of technology, into ego, into the narcissistic behaviours that would be displayed by psychopaths, for example, sociopaths, moving into selfishness, moving into a disregard for others, which is the opposite of the truth, because we are all one. So when we remember that, we stop doing harm to others, we stop being so selfish, because it just doesn't make any sense to us anymore. And these are people who want to control others, or manipulate them, or insist that they think a certain way, or do things a certain way, rather than offering them the freedom that is the truth of our soul's reality. Freedom is always the truth. And they have all kinds of fancy names for it as well, which I won't go into right now because I don't want to get political. I really don't. You guys know I'm an anarchist. It's freedom all the way. You know, I'm a spiritual anarchist, I'm a political anarchist. I work freelance, for heaven. So let's get into it today. I have this new deck that I bought yesterday at Lavender Moon in Poole. Shout out to you guys. This is the Law of Positivism, which I just could not say when I did the reading yesterday. I did their thoughts and feelings last time they saw you reading yesterday, and I just could not spit my words out when I was trying to say this, which is very unusual for me, because usually English is sort of a strong suit for me. Positivism, the Law of Positivism. And I was very drawn to this one because we are coming up to Lionsgate, and this has this beautiful lion cub on the front here. So we are going to see what information comes through, because it does feel like this Lionsgate is going to be a big one. If you're watching in a different year or after the 2024 Lionsgate, do pay attention to when your next Lionsgate is going to be, and that happens around the 8th of August each year. So it is an annual occurrence. It's not just like a one-off that you're going to miss. Although this year's is going to be very interesting. because we're in 2024, which is an 8 year, so it's actually going to be an 888 portal, and I will be doing another reading nearer to the time. I've been told I'm going to be doing it, but not yet, so I'm waiting for my guides to give me the green light on that one, so that's going to be very interesting. But let's just find out first of all what it is that our guides want to say to us, what's going on in the energy today, because there's a lot going on, and I just want to see what we can expect, what we need to do, what the messages are here for us. So it does feel like there's a lot of spiritual communication coming through, like I said. Harmony, spiritual growth, yeah. New beginnings, okay. Romance, retreat, and listening. Interesting. Okay, and on the bottom we have playfulness. I want to bring that energy in as well, because everything doesn't have to be so serious. So harmony, spiritual growth, and new beginnings. Yes, it feels very, very strongly that our spirit guides, our spirit team, our angels are very much calling to us right now, trying to get us to do our homework, basically, to do the work that we need to do to move energetically in the right direction so that we can achieve the spiritual growth that we're looking for, that we want, so we can have these positive, happy new beginnings in our life that we've been striving for. And they are trying to bring in harmony as well, although it may really not feel like it at the moment, because in order to achieve harmony, sometimes we have to upset the apple cart to get to the rotten apples that are right at the bottom. But we have to move them, otherwise they'll make all of the other ones rot as well. But we've got to get those rotten apples out from the bottom of the cart, and then we have to load them all back in again and check very carefully, make sure we've removed all of the rotten ones. So it's definitely not an easy time at the moment. A lot of people will be drawn to do shadow work, healing work. Oh no, it's a mark, not fluff. It's annoying me. Maybe working with a counsellor, maybe getting some sort of spiritual healing, maybe prayer, meditation, spiritual practice. A lot of us are going to be feeling it right now that we have to do that work. Just because we have difficult feelings, difficult emotions, difficult thought patterns popping up right now, maybe making our lives difficult. I feel that our romantic life, our love life, is highlighted here at the moment. So if you have been having difficulty in your love life, it may well be that that is how the shadow element of you that needs to be healed is expressing itself. And that is extremely common, that it comes out in our romantic relationships, because that's a really good way for it to get our attention. Let's be honest, this is something that's important to us. Partnership, romance, love, it's very important to humans. It's very important to mammals. We form these emotional bonds, and in a way, relationships are kind of everything in this reality. They are kind of everything. And when I started my first YouTube channel, but when I started Angel Wings Holistics, I wasn't really planning on doing like readings online, because I thought, oh no, that's silly. Nobody wants to go and watch a tarot reading online or whatever. And horror of horrors, definitely not a love reading. Oh no, that's never going to work. How, that's ridiculous. Why would anyone want that? I don't know. My ego really, really fought me on that. And I realised over time that actually in particular the love readings, they are some of the most popular tarot type videos on YouTube, and there's very good reason for that, because they're extremely important to us. Love is all there is, and at the human level, romance is extremely important to us. Our love life is so important, because it does give us that taste of what it is to know the love of the higher realms, I suppose, that we don't get to experience quite so much when we're down here. So it helps us to tune back into ourselves, tune back into the frequency of love and higher love, and the higher love of God and the angels. And I think for that reason, that is why it's so important to us. So people who've shunned love, they really struggle in this lifetime. They're just going through the motions, because it's all there is in reality, and at the human level it's very important. Just being drawn to get some dragon's fire incense out for us, which I'm just going to casually light as my guides talk through me for some reason. But I'm just going with it today, because it's just one of those days where I just have to do as I'm told and they do their thing. There we go, just lighting it in the corner of the screen there on my candle. Okay. Love is all there is. Maybe ultimately that's the message. Maybe that is the message. Why are we wasting our time trying to do anything else instead of focusing on love? And I don't just mean romance in the lowest level. I mean the higher levels of love as well. Compassion, kindness, true compassion, you know, not like saying, well, I'm compassionate, but I'm going to shout at you and be horrible to you, but don't you dare say I'm not compassionate because I follow this particular set of rules which makes me better than you. You see that a lot in humans. We make up these silly rules as to why we're compassionate when we're absolutely not. It's exhausting. Such an exhausting experience. But anyway, so retreat and listening. Yeah, you may be feeling like you need to kind of pull away from the world at the moment. Maybe spiritual retreat is calling to you. Maybe it's very tempting to you at the moment. Believe me when I say it's very tempting to me. I just managed to touch the inserts on my phone for some reason. Why did I do that? Okay, my guides are in control because they move my hand here. And listening. Yes, the higher realms are absolutely listening to us at this time. They are listening, they're here with us, and they want us to know that we have not been abandoned. We are certainly not alone in everything that we have to do. I need to get an ash catcher. Just a second. Okay, thankfully incense holders are not something I'm short of in this house. So there we have a cute little blue one that I've been guided to use. Okay. And believe me, I have all different ones. So listening, the higher realms are listening to us. And I think as well, there is a call here for us to listen to them so that they can move us forwards into the harmonious new beginnings that they have lined up for us. It's almost like I get the words alchemical marriage here. This angel here, she looks almost like a bride with her headdress, the flowers in her hair and her bouquet. It's almost like there's a spiritual marriage of some kind here for us. Merging with our highest timelines, I'm being told. So many of us have had a number of timeline shifts over just the past couple of years. There have been some enormous ones. So many of us are feeling like we're on paths that are very different to the paths we were on a few years ago or 10 years ago, heavens, goodness. But more so than others would have experienced in previous decades, in previous eras. We are in a very different era at the moment where time is speeding up, things are speeding up. So yes, you may feel the need to rest, to take care of your body at the moment. You may be feeling what I would call ascension symptoms. You may be feeling exhausted. You may have had a ringing in your ears. You may have been feeling very fatigued. You may have muscle tension, muscle twitches. It's all very, very difficult stuff to experience. You know, and it kind of goes under various different names, but it tends to be the kind of thing that the doctors are a bit mystified by and they don't really know why it's happening. I mean, regardless, if you're ill and you need to go to the doctor, you need to go to the doctor. You know, even if you think the cause of it is a spiritual awakening, an energy upgrade, you may still need some help. So don't not go to the doctor, for heaven's sake, and say, well, I didn't have to. No, she didn't. No, she said you absolutely have to go to the doctor if you're ill. Don't you dare. So, okay, romance. Yeah. That card is just jumping out at me. It's a very important theme at the moment. Our love life is very much highlighted for lots of people. And I think for that reason, there could be... Some of us could be experiencing very intense dreams about people that we care about, people that we love, are in love with, perhaps that we're not actually directly involved with at the moment. Relationships could be starting in the 5D. It could feel like we've started a relationship almost in dreamscape in the 5D, but it hasn't happened in the 3D, and that can feel so confusing, so frustrating as well. And this is partly because there are some people incarnated who are not following the steps that they were expected to follow, shall we say. So they're causing some delays, and for that reason some things are kind of getting kicked off in the 5D so that other souls aren't getting held back by the actions of those in the 3D, if that makes sense. Okay, I know it's weird. I'm experiencing it myself. It's so weird. so many things are so strange at the moment. Yes. So, and friendships as well, not just romance, but romance is very, very strongly highlighted here. So it is a time of huge spiritual growth. So if you're feeling out of sorts, please know that you're not alone. Please know that I think it's actually going to possibly get heightened as we move towards Lion's Gate. So if you are listening in July or early August, please know, whichever year you're in, this could actually develop and appear to get worse, for want of a better word. So please do meditate, you know, please do be kind to your body, eat the good quality foods, take your supplements, you know, take whatever it is you need to be taking right now. If you've got medication you've been told to take, make sure you're taking it. Don't let your body get out of whack, out of balance, because it's going to be struggling to keep up with all of the energetic changes. As we know, the body resonates at the slowest energetic level. So it does always take longer to catch up. When we have like a spiritual upgrade, for example, spirit goes first, then mind and emotions follow after, and then the poor old body has to catch up as well, and it has to evolve and it has to grow too. And because it's physical, quote unquote physical, it's the lowest vibration of energy, it takes the longest to get there, and it can appear like it's really struggling, so it can make us feel a little bit unwell or out of sorts while that is happening. So I'm going to pop these ones away. We are going to move to a different deck of cards. I'm being told to bring in these ones. Okay, let's see what messages there are here. I'm going to shuffle them off camera because some of the cards I might need to cover up with some crystals in case there's anything that could be construed as not having clothes on, because YouTube gets smashed on here already. Okay, let's see what we got. Number 19, I focus my thoughts on abundance and gratitude. Yes, that's some strong advice right now. Stay in the energy of abundance, stay in the energy of gratitude. Know that the good things are coming in, even if you can't see them right now. Even if you're feeling let down by other people, know that the good things are coming in. Know that on a higher level, on a spirit level, perhaps the level of the higher self, the person who may not be stepping towards you right now, for example, they will. Or at least they are doing it on the 5D, even if they're not doing it in the 3D. 41. I'm evolving as a soul when I am aware of my soul's journey. Yes, we are asked to have awareness of what's happening to us at the moment. This is interesting because these are some of the cards that were coming out yesterday as I was doing the love reading. So you may actually be drawn to that one, particularly if you are inquiring about somebody you're interested in or even involved with. It was yesterday's reading, which was... what date is it today? It is 28th of July today, so the one from last night to the 27th, which was called Their Thoughts and Feelings. So my video just stopped then because I had a phone call come through on my phone. Okay. So again, maybe that's a message there. Maybe there are literally messages. Spirits on the line, answer the call. They're trying to get in touch with you. They're trying to help you to understand the evolution of your soul's journey. Okay, and what's actually happening to you at the moment. Because I have number 1 here, I go deeper into the root of my physical discomforts to learn and heal. This is shadow work. This is healing the shadow, healing the traumatized, damaged, dark aspects of ourselves that perhaps we've tried to hide away or deny or refuse to look at because it was too painful to even go there. And that's no criticism, because it's very painful to do that sort of work. It's very difficult. It requires huge amounts of courage and often help as well, to work with someone who can help you to do that work. 33, my passion and visions are as expansive as the sun. Wow, coming in on 33.6, the Christ consciousness. Isn't that incredible? Light of the world returning and the light within returning. But after the shadow work, we come back into the light. And like the 2 snakes remind us, we do all have the light and shadow aspects of ourselves. And it's important to remember that. No one's all good and no one's all bad, objectively speaking. We are all this glorious mixture of light and shadow when we are incarnated as human beings. And I'm just being told to get the archetypes deck out. Hopefully I can do that without a load of other cards falling on my head, because they're in the bookcase behind me. Yes, I did it. Okay, we're going to get a couple of these just to get a handle on the energy going around at the moment, what archetypes we might be embodying, what kind of work there is to do here. So, yes, it's a powerful message of the soul's evolution coming through at the moment, and I think our guides are really trying to help us with that, because it's difficult to stay focused on positivity, abundance and gratitude when we're also scraping the deepest, darkest, dankest, stinkiest parts of us that need to be healed. And my cards are throwing themselves on the floor. No, you're not having all of those, you're going to have to choose. Okay, we've thrown 5 on the floor. I am not bringing them all out. We're going to shuffle and we're going to do it again. Okay, All right, that one. Okay, that is one of the ones that fell down. Guide. That's so cheeky. Okay, guide. We have spirit guides coming through, but you also may be a guide for others. You may be a spiritual guide to other people in your lifetime at the moment. Yes. The light attribute of the guide is the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. So you might be a guide to others, and maybe other people in your life who are also guides for you. I apologise if you can hear my washing machine spinning. It's whisper quiet. The shadow attribute places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. So yes, there are those, aren't there, that we meet, and this is a difficult subject actually, because we have to live, we do have to charge money for things, and then there are those who try to take advantage financially of other people in order to impart that perceived knowledge or wisdom, for example. And obviously that's not the good way to do it, that's not the correct way to do it, but we live in a realm of duality, so I suppose we have to expect both to exist. And because we live in this world where money is a thing and you can't really live on air, you do need it, it is necessary for us to do that sometimes. So we shouldn't be too harsh on those, even if they seem to be charging a lot of money for like spiritual guidance or help. It is what it is in this reality, but there is a little reminder there not to take advantage of others, or not to be taken advantage of yourself. Or just because somebody is charging lots of money for their services doesn't mean it's the best on a spiritual level. Okay, the spiritual level is very clear about that. Okay, and wisdom can be found everywhere. You don't necessarily need money to do your spiritual growth and healing. Wisdom can be found from a homeless person in the street that says a word to you. Something you see written on a billboard. A message that you hear over and over again on the radio. You go, your spirit's on the line. They will try and communicate with you regardless of whether you have money to go on expensive retreats to Peru or not. Okay, and that's an important thing to note here. You don't have to have lots of money to do your spiritual progress. You don't have to be rich in order to become enlightened. In fact, that could be more difficult. It should be obvious, really, shouldn't it? But the way our society is set up and the way our ego mind works, we can fall into that thinking, into believing that without even realising that we believe that. Isn't that interesting? Okay. So, let's get another one. The beggar. Light attributes: confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. Shadow attribute: dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. Yes. Awakening the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. This is what I was saying. We do need to step into that, and I feel this is why many enlightened beings kind of exist essentially as beggars, although they don't need to beg because they just manifest what they need anyway. But they live in this energy of humility, compassion. They know their worth. You know, they don't think that they're less than the other person. They know their worth. They know spiritually their worth, but they also know the worth of everybody else at the same time. So this is a very important energy that we're moving into. And notice the colours on these cards, very, very similar, if not exactly the same. This is the colour of the third eye chakra. This is the indigo blue of the third eye chakra. So I'm going to get one more. Don Juan. The light attribute spotlights your positive seductive qualities. The shadow, using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. Yes, again, love, romance, our romantic relationships are being highlighted here for some reason. It's important. There is a lot for us to learn and teach through our romantic relationships. Maybe you're literally a guide to the person that you're involved with, or when you are involved with people, you're literally a guide to them. You're a teacher to them. Maybe you do that to your own detriment, or maybe they just kind of learn by osmosis. And I'm not saying anything's wrong or right. This is just something to think about. Or maybe you are somebody that uses others in romantic relationships. Maybe you are the one that's used in romantic relationships. And maybe you think you're doing the right thing because you're trying to be very spiritual about everything, but the truth is you're just being used. Maybe you give too much. A lot of people who come to this path do give too much. They absolutely do. Or they may have a very distorted view of what love and romance is supposed to look like. Maybe a very idealized view, which makes them fall easily into the clutches of the types of narcissists, unstable personalities, ASPD, psychopaths. The type users and abusers. Basically, the users and abusers will always find the empaths because they're on a very dark level. They're a perfect match. One will take, one will give. Never mind that the person giving will become completely depleted and exhausted by the relationship. At first, they seem to match perfectly. Okay. And the person who is the taker will not ever stop taking. It's for the person who is the giver to stop giving and to understand that they need to receive as well. So there could be a direct message for you there. Okay, so my guides want to go to our little spirit message cards next. I'm astonished that no incense has fallen down yet. It's actually burning. It's burning here. There's like a inch and a half of ash that's just stood there in a column at the moment. I'm just kind of waiting for it to fall down all over my crystals. Which I may or may not do. We'll see. It's okay to play and explore. You don't have to know everything. Yes, yes, yes. Clear away the old narrative. Here's what we're doing. Yes, here's the spiritual work that we're being called to do. Lord and Lady Fire. I love Lord and Lady Fire. When they come out, it's so potent. It can indicate soulmate twin flame relationships as well. Soulmate or twin flame or divine counterpart or, whatever. Kundalini rising. Yes, there is a spiritual awakening connected to a powerful soulmate relationship for you. Now, this doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. I think it will be for most people, but it doesn't have to be. So I feel that either you've started an awakening in somebody else has facilitated one in you, perhaps both at the same time, entirely possible. But this awakening is happening and it is pulling down old walls, pulling down old systems of belief in you, in them right now. And this is part of clearing away the old narrative, like I said. And there is this reminder that regardless how you feel, how people are making you feel at the moment, you are loved. And there is that reminder, of course you are. You are worthy just by your very existence. You are the perfect child of God. How could you not be? How could you not be? And you may never have been told this. You may have been told the opposite. You may have been taught either explicitly or implicitly that you had to achieve things, do things, gain things in order to have value. Well, I'm going to challenge that if that's the case, and I'm going to call bullshit because it's a lie. It may be a useful lie to get people to try harder, or supposedly to get your kids to try hard and go to school and be successful and make something of themselves. But did we ever stop to think whether it would make them happy? I'm not sure that we did. Okay. So it feels as though something's really being cleared away, some old belief patterns tumbling down for you, perhaps for a romantic partner or romantic interest at the moment, somebody that you have a heart connection to. It doesn't matter exactly what the relationship is or isn't. I don't want to put labels on things because I don't think that's necessary, because it's going to be different for everybody. Oh, there goes the ash onto my rose quartz. But I'm being told it doesn't matter. And somehow we need it to all fall down so that we can build something new. We need it to all fall down, and then in the rubble, from the rubble, we can look around and think about what something new might look like. From the heart rather than from the mind. Because we have this card, how can you build on this, on number 44-8. So again, 8 energy coming in here, very powerful. 16 is twice 8 as well, remember. And it reduces to 7, which is the number that precedes 8. And every number, we're taught in esoteric numerology, we're taught that every number contains the energy of the one that precedes it and follows it. So 7 does contain the energy of 8, it just hasn't reached its potential yet. It's like the seed that will become the flower, it just hasn't achieved that potential yet, but it has it all within it. So the Kundalini rising at 16-7, it brings everything tumbling down. And we get to 7 and we have the seed, we have the potential of reaching 8. Success. Longevity. strength, endurance. It's all there. It's wrapped up in a very mystical blanket at number 7, but it's all there. A few more. No? Well, don't throw them up. Seriously, they're just throwing cards on the floor. You already had those. I'm not getting them out again. The ones that just fell on the floor are literally the ones we had at the beginning. So it's almost like they just want to reiterate that message again. Well, I'm not getting those cards out again. No, we're not doing that. We're not going backwards. Stop taking me backwards and forwards in time. Oh, it's a message about timelines. Okay, yes. Things may seem to be going backwards and forwards. Things that were supposed to happen or that maybe you predicted would happen, you'd sensed were going to happen. Timelines can be going backwards and forwards at the moment. That's definitely a message for some people out there. Time could feel very confusing. It could feel like it's slowing down, speeding up, going around in circles, jumping up and down, going in a figure eight. Time is not behaving itself at the moment for many of us. So, okay. Let's see what we've got here. What wants to come out? Friendship. Celebration. Harmony again. And self-acceptance, which I'm just going to cover up a little bit because this little cherub doesn't have a lot of clothes on. There we go. Self-acceptance. That is a big part of the message that I'm getting coming through here, self-acceptance, accepting yourself with all of your perceived human flaws, even if you haven't achieved the things you wanted to achieve, done the things that society, parents, family, teacher said you should or had the potential to, or wasn't it a shame that you didn't achieve your potential? How fucking dare they? How dare they say you didn't achieve your potential? How could they possibly have known what that was? So, old thought patterns, old beliefs really falling away today. Old beliefs about yourself imposed upon you by others. Very interesting reading today. My guides are going really deep. They're getting a bit cross about stuff as well. I love the passion that comes through when they swear. Okay. Harmony, friendship, celebration. Yes, isn't that what life should be about? Isn't that what we should be doing as human beings, having a human experience rather than being good little drone bots that go to work and get lots of certificates? Oh, look at all of my certificates. Well done. Are you happy? Not particularly. I'm exhausted. Feel like I might need to lie down now. Okay, do all those certificates get you friends, family, loved ones? Do they make you happy? Do they bring you joy? Maybe. Maybe some of them do. Do they define who you are? Should they? There's a whole lot of towers going to be falling. I tell you, this Lionsgate, it's just tower, 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 tower. And if you don't read tarot, tower is number 16 of the Major Arcana. I'm going to get one out. I'm going to get the tower out from the After Tarot because it expresses it really nicely. See if I can find it for you to show you a picture. Because the tower is where everything unexpectedly, shockingly comes falling down around our ears and forces us to change, forces us to see what is. We can no longer hide from the truth. We can no longer deny things. We can no longer try and keep going with something that's well past its sell-by date. We are forced, absolutely forced out of our comfort zone in whatever way that is, whatever situation it is. It's shocking. It's very often unpleasant. Here it is. It's shocking and unpleasant. There are very few towers that are nice. Nice tower moments. Not so much. Just because they rock us to our very core when we're not expecting it. Or even if we are expecting, we know full well it's coming. It doesn't make it any easier. Because look, it's on fire. It's falling down. How is that going to be easy? We can do our best to have our contingency in place, but it's never going to be a happy experience when that happens. It's like, I work in construction, for you guys who didn't know. aside from obviously my work here. And a new law came in called the Building Safety Act in the UK recently. Came in, was given royal assent last year, wasn't it? In May, was it? I forget. Was it 2022, 2023? Really doesn't matter. You can look up the legislation if you really want to read it. It's not particularly interesting, but it is interesting here because it's all about fire safety and structural safety of tall buildings that people live in. It's almost like it's trying to mitigate the tower energy, so that when these disasters do strike, people land as softly as possible. And I think that's very symbolic that should be happening right now. And I think other countries will be following suit. And I know there's a lot of interest from other countries in the world keeping an eye on what's happening in my country at the moment with regards to this. But energetically, we are trying to mitigate the tower energy where we fall, and we may hurt ourselves. We may be deeply wounded by the falling of the tower. And all the bats of the subconscious flying around here, all of the subconscious thoughts that we know are there, but we don't want to see them, so we make them fly at night, so we don't have to look at them. Some people are even scared of bats. We're afraid of them, these dark thoughts, dark beliefs about ourselves. And they've all been released when the tower fell down, because they were all, quite happily hanging upside down up in the belfry. Then the lightning struck. Interesting energies. All right. Let's pop these away. Let's get some other cards out. Where are we going next, guys? Let's pop the tower over there. Thank you for that. I'll pop these away so it doesn't get too messy on my desk, because I want to go to these ones next. And my guides are making me go all over the place for different packs of cards that I wasn't expecting to use, and I did kind of have an inkling that was going to happen. I could feel it was going to be one of those readings. Like, where are we going now? Oh, God. Okay, so what other messages we got from our guides here for this time, whenever we're finding it, for our soul groups right now? What do we need to know? What do we need to do? What do we need to hear and understand? The bobcat and the blackthorn, patience, on 40. The moth and eucalyptus, an ending, on 13. Yes. Be patient while everything's falling around your ears. Rome may be burning, but you can't rebuild it in an hour. You can't even rebuild it in a day, a week, a month. This is a process that we find ourselves in right now. It's not so much an event as a process. I love this moth with the little skull on it. It's kind of like the death card. And it's evoking the death card in the tarot because it's coming in on number 13 as well. And death is a wonderful card all about endings and new beginnings, because people fear that card for some reason, because it can look a little bit scary. But we shouldn't be afraid of endings, because how would we ever have a new beginning if something didn't end? If the bad movie doesn't end, how can we turn it off and watch a good one? You know? If the bad relationship doesn't end, how can we find a better one? Endings need to happen. It's okay. It's all right. The mouse and buttercup on 0, innocence. Beautiful. Yes, the new will be born. It will come out of the old, but we must be patient with ourselves. We must be patient with the world right now. Finch and peach, romance. You see, this theme just won't stop coming out. Seriously, romance. Look at that. I wasn't expecting that. This isn't even slightly a romance deck. This is the woodland, what's it called? The Woodland Wardens. Butterfly and snowdrop, hope. Yes. On 46. 46, 10, 1, new beginning. 369, manifesting. Do you know what? I'm just going to say this. For some of us, we are literally creating our reality as through our love life, through our romantic life, because that's how we create. I feel for some of us, that's literally how we create, or what we create mirrors what's going on in our romantic life. And as I said that, I saw 22:55 on the clock, and it won't be for you guys. It's only because I had to restart the video because some idiot called me. 22:55, the beautiful mirror. What's going on in our life and our romantic life somehow mirroring each other at the moment, energetically, not necessarily literally, but energetically. There's a mirroring that's happening there. We're seeing ourselves mirrored in others, and we're seeing our manifestation mirroring what's happening there. So maybe it's helping us to gain clearer insights on things that we need to do and heal, patience that we have to have with ourselves or others. You may be being asked to have patience with somebody that maybe that you're waiting for at the moment on a romantic sense. We have an ending, but we also have hope. And the possibility that comes with zero, the infinite possibility that comes with zero, such a controversial number, zero. And I'll show you why. Where is it? You know, the number zero was so controversial it was actually banned. I've got this book, Zero, The Biography of a Dangerous Idea, by Charles Seife. It's very interesting. It's a good read if you're drawn to it. As a numerologist, of course I was drawn to it. Zero is the most intriguing number, because does it even exist? Okay. The Vulture and Asphodel, upheaval on 14. Yes, the upheaval is needed. The tower has to fall, otherwise you can't build the new one. You've got to demolish the old to build the new. Nature has to go through autumn and winter to get to spring. So whatever's happening in your life right now, it's okay. Even if it's really not okay. And I know it's tough for some people out there. I do know that. And there are all these questions swirling around at the moment. What do I need to let go of? What do I need to do? How do I need to change? How do I need to heal? And I just want to say right now, just stop. Just take a breath. Have some silence. Just try to be patient with yourself and with the process. Because your higher self will know when it's the moment to do something. It will know when it's time to act. Ego thinks it's always time to act, and believe me, it's not. The ash falls in its own time. Just going to move the vulture away from the ash. Let's bring in some Cosmic Dragon. I haven't sprayed any of this today. Let's bring in some of this spray. Just going to give us a spritz for everyone here as well as me. Oh, it's lovely. Let me know if you can smell it. Some people can smell things intuitively. It's wonderful. Okay. Now we're going to the tarot. Okay, that's good. I got the go ahead to go. All right. Going to go a little bit deeper. I love these mushroom cards. They're so magical. I'm very into all things mushroom at the moment, so. Oops. Don't be surprised if more mushroom type themed things start appearing on this desk at the moment. It could well happen. I had a very difficult moment yesterday. I was in Lavender Moon in Poole, and I keep saying that shop, but I keep going there. That's where this is from, this piece of turquoise. And they had these little trinket dishes in the shape of like a crescent moon, but with these gorgeous mushrooms on, and I had to resist very strongly buying it. I did buy these cards, and I did buy some pieces of tiger's eye, which I'm going to be using for the 3 piles when I actually do my Lionsgate reading. But I managed not to buy the trinket dish yesterday. It may well appear, we'll see. Number 9, the Hermit, the artist's conch. Sorry. It's making me laugh because where I'm from, conch is slang for nose. I don't know if that's what that means in this context. 7 of Cups. At least we know we won't get any nudity on the mushroom cards. Right. Hope there's not a stink horn in here. Okay. 7 of Cups, Black Trumpet. I don't know why I'm getting these funny feelings come through. It's very humorous energy coming through, very playful. King of Cups. Verdigris agaric. The big snail. Snails are not my friends right now. They have been trying to decimate my garden because it's been such a wet year again. My poor vegetable garden not doing so well. Not doing badly, but not doing as well as I would like. We have the Tower. Oh, come on. And it's a stink horn. Okay, you're just taking the mickey out of me now. They're just mocking me now. The High Priestess. And the Hierophant. So we've got the High Priest and the High Priestess here. Oh, spiritual relationships are being highlighted. Very powerful spiritual connections. The High Priestess and the High Priest. Isn't that interesting? Because the numbers I saw reflected were 22, 55, and we got 2 and 5 here, which do mirror each other. On the bottom, 9 of Swords. The untethered mind. Okay. I think for a lot of people, much of this will play out in your romantic life right now. I'm just going to say it because that's what it's being shown to me. It may not. That may not be the case for you, and that's absolutely fine. And that doesn't mean this reading isn't for you, but for a lot of the soul groups who are drawn here, a lot of this stuff, this spiritual drama, I suppose we could call it, will play out in your romantic life. And for some of us, we learn through those types of relationships. And Tower, yeah. Maybe it's your idea of what love is supposed to look like that's coming crashing down at the moment. Or maybe you're helping that to happen for somebody else to have that epiphany. Maybe you're showing them what it really means. I'm very drawn to A Course in Miracles right now, which is a book I really like. I have my copy here with my markers and my bookmark. Let's see if there's a passage for us in it. I'm just going to open it, see if there's a passage for me to read for you at the moment. I mean, there's always a good passage in here, but 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. It's about idolatry. I love it. Oh, I love this. It's talking about idolatry and how it's a meaningless attempt to raise other gods, other idols, shall we say, above the true divine being, if you want to call it being, divine presence, God, goddess, doesn't matter what you call it. And by worshipping them to obscure their tininess and his greatness. And in this book, it does tend to refer to God, goddess as him, which is fine because it kind of comes from a Christian angle, and that's the religious bent of the person who is writing it and the people involved in writing it. Obviously, there is no gender. God doesn't have a gender. It's ridiculous. For every idol that you raise to place before him stands before you in place of what you are. Oh. Little reminder there that we are. I just stopped there, didn't I? We are. I was like, where's the rest of the sentence? No, the sentence is I am. That's so cheeky. I love how my guides work sometimes. The sentence is I am. That's it. We are the divine in human form. I am the divine presence. I am God. I am the child of God insofar as I am the tiny little spark of energy whizzing around on a rock right now in a meat suit. But that doesn't make me any less part of God. I'm just a little piece that is having an experience of what it would be like if I were separate from God, which of course I can't be. It's an illusion. It's all an illusion. Ultimately, it's a very bloody realistic one, though, I'll tell you. Wow. 7 of Cups. Choices, decisions, confusion. And the Hermit. I do like the Hermit. And it is number 9 energy, the Hermit, even if sometimes it appears elsewhere. Because number 9, if you look at it, is literally, when you draw a number 9, it is the Hermit's lamp on a stick. That is 9. And it is that light that guides us forwards, that wise energy that has been there, done what we're doing right now, that will help us to move forwards into the next cycle, into the next phase. So it could be you are that guide for somebody else or for other people right now. Maybe they are that guide for you. Because there's a lot of love here. There's a lot of deep compassion, love, higher level love here as well. I want to say there's a lot of dreams happening. There's a lot happening in people's dreams at the moment. A lot of very meaningful things happening. So I would say make a note of your dreams or take time to interpret them to make sure you're understanding what they're telling you. Because your subconscious, your higher self will be giving you some powerful messages through dreams. Because when we're in dreamscape, the messages come through quite clearly because ego is not in charge and it can't manipulate the landscape particularly well. So it kind of has to watch what's happening and feel what's being felt rather than disagreeing with it. We can disagree with it when we wake up, but we can't disagree with the dream while it's happening. Okay. So for that reason, ego generally can't control it. We may have a little bit of control in our dreams, but we can't control everything that happens in them. Okay. Because they are communication. 9 of Swords, worry, overthinking, nightmares even. Yeah. And that's to be expected, and it's sat on top of the upheaval card, so it's not surprising really that many of us are going to be having a difficult time in many ways, but a difficult time in the mind. I want to say it's the mind that's struggling right now. And the body, as I mentioned previously, but we're talking about the mind specifically here. This spiritual growth is happening, whether we kind of like it or not. For the soul groups who are drawn to this, it's happening whether we like it or not, because we already started it on this path. We stepped onto the water slide, we're halfway down, we can't stop. When you're on the water slide, you can't get off. That's why it seems so scary sometimes, like, where am I going? Look, we stepped on the spiritual water slide, okay? The ones who didn't, they're the ones who are not on this journey. All right, they're the soul groups who didn't join us or haven't joined us yet or will choose not to, and that's okay too. King of Wands. 7 of Wands. Ace of Cups. There may be a fight on your hand. You may have a fight on your hands to leave some things behind. You may have a fight on your hands to leave some things behind that no longer serve you. And I've got the Fool on the bottom, which is interesting because we had the Number 0 card with Innocence with the little mousey, the mouse and the buttercup here, which is the same kind of energy, except I want to say we are no longer fools. We are embodying the energy of the divine, of the infinite potential of 0. And 0 in many ways you could say represents the divine, represents God, Goddess, because it's infinite potential. Which is everything, which is basically God. We are no longer the fool. We will not be taken in anymore. And yes, we may find that we clash with people because of this. We may find that we clash with friends, families, situations that we've outgrown, that we have to move forwards. We have to do things in an unconventional way. We have to do it in our own way, but we must do it with compassion for others. We must not fall into the ego trap of thinking that we're better and acting accordingly, treating others without kindness, without love, with judgment. Okay, and that doesn't mean not defending yourself, because of course it does. 7 of Wands, you're going to need to defend yourself. You've got a fight on your hands. And this could be because of a new relationship. Maybe there's something about it that's unconventional. And you do literally have a fight on your hands. Maybe it's a love triangle or third-party situation. You have a fight on your hands. Maybe you have to leave a toxic situation. It's not easy. But it is worth it because it leads to the Ace of Cups. All of this that we're seeing, that we're working towards, is leading us to this new beginning in love and higher love, I want to say, with the Ace of Cups. We will get there. We are getting there. This is the messy stage. So, come on, God. The moon. I was asking particularly what are the messages as I was about to pull the card. Then I asked my guides, what are the messages? What does everyone need to know about Lionsgate? And the moon is, I think the message is that there's a lot that you don't know and will not know, and that you need to be okay with. With the moon, things are not as they appear to be. Under moonlight, things don't look quite normal or right. They might look scary when they're harmless. They might look harmless when they're frightening. The moon energy can be deceptive. We can get spooked in the dark. And I think the message here is to stay in your calm, centered place. This Lionsgate. I nearly said Dragon's Gate. Where did that come from? Oh. Okay, dragon energy coming in here as well. So the dragons are coming in to help us, stepping in to work with us more as well. So don't be surprised if they show up in your meditation, in your dreams. They're definitely coming back to help us. They're stepping back into this realm. They have been for a while now, since 2007, they're telling me in particular. Okay. And they're very powerful as well. So whatever it is that you're battling with, whatever it is you're struggling with at the moment, call on that dragon energy to support and help you, and they will absolutely step in to be with you. And it's interesting because my channel is called Cosmic Dragon, and I would never have thought to call it that. Honestly, I would never have thought to call it that, but that's what I was told I was going to call it. So, and I was tapping into some dragon energy in Wales at the time, and it just all kind of happened. So, expect the unexpected, friends. But you got this. You got this. A lot of truths are still being hidden. Don't expect to be able to find everything out. Before or around Lionsgate, there's a lot being hidden to us. We're going through a massive awakening, some big spiritual upgrades. We're taking people with us as well. On a romantic sense, there are people coming with us. So, all is well, even if it appears not to be. That's where we're going to end. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful. I will see you in the next reading. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, because that really, really helps me. I'm trying to reach my first milestone of 1,000 subscribers. I would be so grateful if you would be a part of this journey. You take very good care of yourselves. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.